I missed it. What is that line again? He says, I'm Frank and
I don't know. I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. My wife knows. She'll call in. So, anyways, also in studio with us, Pastor Rick Dietering. And on the phone is Walter from Ypsilanti. But first, I'm going to ask all of our listeners to whom it would make economic sense to go visit Hamburg Quick Lube for an oil change and get your coupon for $5 off from the current newspaper. And you can do that if it didn't get in your mailbox and you didn't pick it up at the party store or the gas station, the drop points where we put it, then you can go to the Current online and print out a copy. But I have it on good authority from Mike that if you just go there and say, hey, the Current sent me, he'll give you the $5 off because he likes to know he got his money's worth out of his advertising in the Current, and I like to think that too. So that's Hamburg Quick Lube. It's at 7554 East M36. Phone number is 810-231-0121. It's next to the Hamburg Car Wash. So you can't go wrong there. I mean, the guy does a great job. He's right on it himself. He's actually gets under the cars himself and checks them out. So you're not getting halfway decent service. You're getting the full Monty.
The full Monty.
There you go,
and
yes.
a little dance on the side.
All right. So let's see what Walter has to say.
All
Walter.
right, guys. I need Gary in there with you guys, in between you guys, so I can hear some more yelling. You guys got to get emotional, man, like Gary. That's the only thing that's missing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, come on. Give me a break over here.
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. Okay. There, how's
Is that better?
Oh, boy. You're doing a good job, man, you guys. Just one word out of your mouth, man, is better than what any Democrat says, man. Just one word, one letter that comes out of you guys' mouth is a lot more truthful than... No, and speaking of truthful, Schumer, with them glasses down on his nose, looking like one of Sandra Levin and one of those Levins, man. Oh, man, that irritates me to no end.
That guy reminds me of
goodness.
that guy from Lord of the Rings, the worm guy.
Gollum. Gollum.
No, not Gollum. But,
Worm Tongue.
Yeah, the advisor to the king who, was just basically demon-possessed.
Yeah.
So,
And, speaking of Mueller, or some people call him Mueller, some call him Mueller. I'll just call him Mueller.
okay.
By the way, anybody that looks like John Kerry got to be a crook. You know who's not there? He looks like John Kerry.
Oh, now you're being a crookist. You're lumping everybody who looks together like that,
Listen, anyway, remember, in light of what we're saying, was in the workings behind the scene has been some victories in the courts for Trump. And we even had Obamacare Roberts decided with the conservatives this time on the illegals, the immigrants, the criminal immigrants. I know y'all know about that one. Maybe y'all can expound on that a little bit. And also, how can I come on here without mentioning the late fate?
No.
I'm not going to say it great. The late fate. And people, I don't know how people going to take this, but I can give a hip-hop what they think. John McCain. Donald Trump slamming John McCain well past due. I'm so glad he been slamming John McCain, and his fingerprints is behind what? The Russia collusion? What is it?
Well, you've got a point there. Everybody's been saying, they wish that, why is Trump hammering on McCain? He's been dead for 6 months or more now. But, McCain keeps hammering at Trump from the grave with the Steele dossier, right? It's the gift that keeps on giving. It was just revealed, it was just, what do you want to say, evidenced. We pretty much knew it, but the evidence just came out this week that it was McCain's subordinate at McCain's direction who gave the Steele dossier.
That didn't come out this week. That we knew 2 years ago.
Oh, we knew that, but it was just brought into, so to speak, evidence or
put into files.
Yes, exactly, in the congressional record.
It is now official.
Yes, exactly.
I'm getting ready to say something that you guys might get in trouble with. But you guys, no matter whether you're not white, you're beige. I'm not black, I'm brown. Okay, if you want to tell the truth. But here you come. Let you know that the McCains were no good anytime Nappy-Head Goldberg. That's right, I said Nappy-Head Goldberg on The View. With those other lying, gossiping women, what a waste of time. And who's on there with them? John McCain's daughter.
Yeah.
Woe to you when The View
I'll take your word
speak
for it.
well of you. They spoke well of John McCain when he did what? When he started going with that feuding and fighting and friction with Donald Trump. All of a sudden, he became hero on The View, and the bushes, like Jesse Jackson used to say, get out of the bushes. I'm about sick and tired of them, too. Yes, that's right. John McCain's daughter's on The View with Nappy Head Goldberg. Yep. You know, that Don Imus got in trouble with that and got kicked off the radio years ago, but I can say it and get away with it. I've said it, I've meant it, that settles it. That's
You're a
right.
racist, Walter. You're just a racist.
I'm glad he slammed John McCain, and he needs to lay it on even harder, because I've been doing it myself. I'm out of here.
Okay. Talk to you later, Walter. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, go for it.
Hey, I want to, first of all, thank you for inviting me in to make a statement here today. I want to thank you, Ed, for making sure that my show gets recorded and then put up on my Facebook. And so people who want to hear my previous show can go to my Facebook page, Richard Clark Dietering, and you can hear it. However, for the time being, if you want to see it, whenever you put it up, I'm going to put something right above it every week. I know you know what it is. It's Linda Rises.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to stay at the top of my page. Mm-hmm. Theron would like to see that page get $100,000 in donations to the breast cancer, BCRF.
Research Foundation.
Research Foundation, thank you. They get $100,000 through that site towards the Research Foundation. So I'm going to leave it up top of the page so people can click on that to help get that $100,000. And go to it. You get to read a little bit of Linda's story. You get to learn why this is happening, why Theron started this site, and in honor of his wife, Linda. And please visit it. And while you're there, donate. There's a button on there through her page that will take you right to the BCRF, and then that site will get the credit of it coming through there. You'll get whatever tax breaks you want from donating the money.
That's
but
LindaRises.com.
LindaRises.com. And you can get that on Theron's page. You can get that on my page. Or you can just go to LindaRises.com and cut out the middleman altogether.
Excellent. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, it was about a year ago. You know, one of the privileges I had sitting behind this microphone, well, I think it was a year ago, January, was interviewing Linda. And she came in and we talked to her for about 45 minutes. And she talked about how she and Theron started the show, bought the station, I should say, their history, her life. And it was just wonderful doing that interview with her.
For the last last few shows, at least quite a few shows, I had the honor of co-hosting with her on American Dream.
Yes.
And I tell you, the best time I ever had in radio. And I got my start in radio back in an old Monroe station years and years ago. Best time I ever had in radio. It's no longer in existence, so I can say it. It was the old tower, but they're no longer there. But I'll tell you what, the best time I ever had in radio was working with Linda. Wonderful Christian sister, and I know I'm going to get to see her again in the kingdom.
That assurance.
So we have that assurance.
Well, two of us do.
I'll tell you what, the cancer is a terrible, wicked disease that has come on because of the fall of mankind, and God has given mankind the ability to think things through and to search for cures, and all it takes is resources from a lot of people for that to happen. We need to stop this evil, wicked disease of breast cancer. It's the second leading killer of women in this country.
That's LindaRises.com.
Thank you.
About that, I've heard many reports that abortion is directly related to breast cancer, and you never hear about that in other places.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of abortion, there's a national candidate for the presidency on the Democratic ticket. I mean, he's not. How do I put this? Let's see. There's a guy who's going to be in the Democratic primaries for their candidacy, and that's Robert O'Rourke, better known as Beto.
I don't know. He changed.
So some cartoon name.
Yeah, exactly. I just imagine him with his college roommates. Says, "Hey, call me Beto." Okay, why? Oh, it just sounds cool. So, Derek, would you play this track of Beto being asked about late trimester abortions?
Are you for third trimester abortions, or are you going to protect the lives of third trimester babies? Because, there's really not a medical necessity for abortion. It's not a medical emergency procedure because typically third trimester abortions take up to 3 days to have. So you would, in that sense, if there was an emergency, the doctors would just do a C-section, and you don't have to kill the baby in that essence. So are you for or against third trimester abortions?
So the question is about abortion and reproductive rights. And my answer to you is that should be a decision that the woman makes.
Huh? Was that the answer to her?
No. He immediately conflated it to rights.
Yes.
He used the term rights, which automatically brings the level of the whole conversation up to something constitutional, something American, something fantastic, because it's a right. When we're not talking about that, we're talking about murdering a baby.
Yeah. The whole ruling was that abortions could be performed for the health of the mother, and then that got conflated to mental health, and she might have a headache or whatever.
It might cause her to be depressed someday in her life later on,
yes,
which
exactly.
medically could be bad for her if she's like,
believe
feeling
me,
down.
if you have little kids running around, you get depressed.
Yeah, that's
No reason to kill them, folks. None.
no reason for infanticide. Oh yeah, and of course, Beto was you read this right about Beto and his infanticide writings in his teens.
Yeah. I want you to understand, as he says, his excuse is that, well, he was a 16-year-old idiot. But I also want to point out this is the same man that thinks that the voting age should be taken to the age of 16.
We're the idiots. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I have a friend, actually a couple of friends on Facebook. I have more than one friend on Facebook now I think about it. But there was a friend of mine who took issue with my complaining about this, saying that he's an author. You know, he's allowed to write these things. It's free speech. And that she had written once a character who was a nasty guy, and so does that mean it reflects on her? And she's a conservative, but she was defending his ability to write this. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, he said, one day as I was driving home from work, I noticed two children crossing the street. They were happy to be free from the troubles. I knew, however, that this happiness and sense of freedom were much too overwhelming for them. This happiness was mine by right. I had earned it in my dreams. As I neared the young ones, and then he describes killing them with his automobile. I don't want to get into the graphics that he did. Now, is that what a sane person writes?
Well, look at the stuff that Stephen King has written. I don't think that man is sane.
Well, that was one of the arguments that Stephen King writes like that, and that millions of people read it and enjoy it. But do you think that Stephen King associates himself or fantasizes the things he's doing the way Beto O'Rourke seemed to be doing?
Let me put it this way. I defend his right to write down whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. That is, and it can be as offensive.
As do I.
And it can be as offensive as he wants. Doesn't mean, under the Constitution, as a Christian, mm-hmm. I might have totally different views on if this was a Christian brother writing this. But I don't see him as a Christian brother, so I'm going to sit there saying he's of this world, and he has the constitutional right to write whatever it was. What it does show us his thinking. It shows us his inner true self of what he thinks of as human life. Those stories you just read are very consistent with his answer that he just gave on late-term abortion. Mm-hmm. One is disguised as a 16-year-old crazy kid writing down whatever he wants, and the other one is disguised as rights. But in the end, they are both a reality in his head that it's okay to murder children. Yeah.
Well, let's hold on to this thought for a second. We have a caller, a very important caller. I refer to as Dear. So,
she scares the tar out of you. I know this.
Let's see. Derek will put her on. I don't know which line it is, and he's busy taking another call. Yes, dear.
That's funny. I love you too, sweetheart. The name of the movie is A Long Kiss Goodnight. And I do not remember what Samuel L. Jackson said, so we'll have to watch it again.
I'd like to. That was a good movie. That was really.
It was a good movie, yeah. And then you can tell next week what he said.
Okay.
But it's A Long Kiss Goodnight.
There you go. Well, thank you,
dear. You hear how she stresses the word kiss? You must not kiss her enough.
Oh, she got one just before I left the door today. So.
You brought her, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, honey. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
I think he was Frank. What would you say? I'm Frank and, I want to say honest, but it's two names. Frank and...
Stein.
Yeah, Frank. Never mind. You're no help.
Ernest?
That's it. Frank and Ernest. I'm Frank in Detroit, and I'm Ernest in Chicago. That's it. Thank you very much. Perfect. Okay, let's move on to Jimmy from Manchester. And
I'm still stuck